Hi guys, just wanted to come back with you and do another video on something that was pretty exciting, and it happened to me this weekend, so I wanted to share it with you. It's not going to be on the powers of the kingdom or the powers of the age to come, which is what we kind of discussed and left the last video talking about. Hopefully we'll be able to come back to that study note, but the Lord kind of just took me on a different path, and it was a pretty exciting path. And it is one that I want to share with you. I think if anything, it's going to show us that the Lord will guide us and get us the information that we need to know. And I'm coming to realize that I think the Lord Jesus Christ truly loves a treasure hunt, and probably gets more excited when we finally get the right answers than we even do. So let me go ahead and tell you what the story was and tell you how my weekend was, and you can decipher it for yourself. The title of this video is going to be Keys. K-E-Y-S, Keys. So Friday I'm at work, and I have a new office mate at work. He's probably been there about a month, maybe 6 weeks. He's still a newbie. And he happened to come to me on Friday, and he said, do you know whose key this is? And in his hand, he's holding a brown skeleton key. And I said, no, I have no idea. May I see the key? And so he handed me the key, and as soon as he handed me the key, I was just looking at this key, and I just felt so drawn to this key. And I don't collect keys. I don't, if anything, I'm probably tossing keys. So I'm not real sure why I was so drawn to this key, but I was drawn to this key to the point where I had said, if you don't find the owner of the key, can I have the key? We had discussed that our office building had been moving furniture around and was, replacing older desks with newer desks and that type of thing. And that's probably where the key came from. And that he probably should, submit to find if anybody's missing a key. But I did say, if you didn't find the owner, could I have it? Which was really odd for me, because I don't collect keys, and it would not be something that I would normally ask for. Well, he is a collector of keys, and he was, starting to tell me that. And so I was just basically just said, oh, well, no worries. If you, don't find the owner of the key, it's your key. You keep the key. You collect keys. You should keep the key. It was a really interesting looking key, actually. Most skeleton keys are. And so I had forgotten all about it. That was Friday. Saturday, my work week out at work was done, and Saturday my husband and I were going through the house, doing dishes, straightening up, dusting, laundry, the typical normal weekend stuff. And I go down to get some of the laundry done, and I open up my cabinet down there by the washer and dryer to get out the detergents and stuff. And lo and behold, I see 2 keys. And they're 2 skeleton keys. Little short silver ones. And I thought, well, what in the world? So I asked my husband, I said, babe, did you put these keys here? No. I said, well, do you know how they got here? And he's like, no. And so I thought, okay, well, we do have somebody else that uses our washer and dryer. A family member comes over, and so maybe that's how they got there. But, even over and above all of that, the fact that the Lord has put 2 skeleton keys in front of me 2 days in a row tells me I need to take note. There's something that he is trying to tell me. And so immediately I go in to start researching stuff. I'm looking up to see what the definition of key is. I'm going into Wikipedia to find out what skeleton key means, which basically means a pass key or a master key, which I thought that was pretty cool. Could open many locks. And then I'm going through to, to just to start questioning, well, what is the, what is the reason for the key? Is it to unlock a door? Is it to unlock a gate? Is it, to unlock, something that had been hidden but now can come to light? Was it understanding that we were going to be receiving? What was the key? What was it? Because even another definition of key is music. And, so there was all different kinds of definitions for key. And I thought, well, what could this possibly mean? So I pondered it for quite a while, and I was talking with a friend of mine on Facebook, and I was telling him about these keys that I found. And he just happened to nonchalantly say, well, the keyhole is called the eye of the needle. And I said, the keyhole? You mean the keyhole in the door? He said, yeah. I said, it's called the eye of the needle? He said, yeah. I had no idea. Well, he has no idea the Lord used him so mightily, really, used him as someone, a vessel, to get some information to me. And I immediately went back into research and started, because I knew there was a scripture about the eye of the needle. I knew there was. So that was the first place I went to, I went to the Bible and I pulled it up, and it was the story where Jesus is talking to a rich man. And the rich man was sincerely asking Jesus how he could get into heaven. And Jesus basically said, sell everything that you have and give it to the poor. And, but he made the comment that it would be easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it would be for a rich man to get into heaven. And basically that means that they're holding on to their material things. They're not willing to let them go. And so I understood that. But I still didn't understand the eye of the needle. So I was thinking, and I was wondering, sometimes, in these parables that Jesus said, he was an excellent hider of things. He could hide the truth right in your face. And you wouldn't even know that it was truth because of our perception of stuff. Our understanding and perception was blocking us, was veiling it to where we couldn't see what the truth was. And I wondered, could that be what it is? Because, how could a camel fit through the eye of a needle? Because in my mind, an eye of a needle was like a sewing needle. But now I had just found out that a keyhole is also called an eye of a needle. And so I thought, well, is there any other eye of the needles that I don't know about? And so I went on to Google and I started looking it up, and sure enough, there sure was. It's an opening in the wall where the gates are around the city of Jerusalem. And so I said, okay, so here's another eye of the needle. And when I went through and did all kinds of research regarding trying to figure out what the truth was regarding these eyes of the needle, I think it comes down to the fact that there are openings next to the gates in the walls that lead into the city. And the gates would be closed at night for safety or protection, and that travelers could actually still get into the city either through small doors or small openings that were guarded. And so, if it was a small door, then it would be big enough for a camel to get down on its knees, unload everything that it had on him, and, crawl through this opening. But the holes in the walls, they're only big enough for a man to get through. They're not big enough for a camel. They're not, and they're barely big enough for a man. It doesn't look like if you had a whole lot of belongings, you would be able to squeeze them through. I found a video that actually shows an eye of the needle opening right next to a gate they call the Judgment Gate. And the Judgment Gate is a gate that was built by Herod, which was the time of Christ. And right next to it is an eye of the needle, a place that you can get through, and it's very, very narrow. But what's interesting is that the gate is the Judgment Gate that was built at the time that Christ was here. And it would have been the path, they believe, that Jesus would have received his final judgment and would have had to have carried his cross up to be crucified on that very area. So I thought, oh my goodness, what's this all about? It was very, very interesting. I had no idea about any of it. So then I was thinking, well, what are you trying to tell me here? What is this all about? I mean, what does this mean? You know, does this mean that, you know, we're to take up our cross and follow you? You know, and then I thought, oh, maybe it does. And so I camped out there for a little while. And the reason why I did is because Saturday morning, the Lord, He wakened me early in the morning, and He placed upon my heart for me to take communion. And so while I was alone and the house was quiet and I was doing communion with the Lord, I was talking with Him and I was in prayer, but I felt His presence within the room. And when I finished communion, this is what the conversation was. He said to me, "Do you love me?" And I said, "Yes." And He said, "Then follow me." And I said, "Lord, where are you going?" And He said, "We are going home." Well, that's all He had to say, because then the floodgates just opened, and that was all He had to say, because you know it has been a long couple of years. So that's the reason why I kind of camped out there a little bit. I thought, Lord, are you telling me, you know, judgment's getting ready to begin? Are you telling me that we need to pick up our cross and follow you? Are we going to die? Are you going to ask us to lay down our life? Is something going to happen? What does this mean? And then I started to remember, you know, the Lord told us, the bride, his people are not appointed to wrath. They're not appointed to wrath. And so I thought, well then, are we walking through the wide judgment gate? We're on a narrow path. Are we going to be the ones that are going to slip through the eye of the needle? I started wondering, you know, are you trying to tell me the first fruits are getting ready to be called? Is this the 5 wise virgins getting ready to go in? You know, when they heard, you know, them say the bridegroom cometh, and, you know, all 10 arose. 5 had enough oil and 5 didn't. So the 5 that had the oil went in, and they shut the door. And then when the other 5 came, they knocked on the door, and they were denied entry. And so I thought, is it because they don't have the keys? Are the keys linked to something? Will the keys open the door? Are the keys linked to something we have to have within us in order to enter in? Yeah, I had a ton of questions. I truly had a ton of questions. I was trying to figure it all out. I was digging up information, research. It was late Saturday night. My whole house was already asleep for hours before I crawled into bed. And I thought, well, I'm just going to pray over this, and I'm just going to try and get some rest. And Sunday morning I woke up early, and I was just laying in bed. The house was quiet, and I was thinking about all of the stuff that the Lord had showed me, and all of the different things that, one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another, and it was just like this great treasure, trail that we were trying to go down and figure out what was going on. And I was laying there thinking, Lord, how is this all connected to the keys? I don't get it. Something's not, it's not connecting for me. What is it? And he reminded me of a vision he gave me several years ago. Well, a year or so or two. I'm not sure exactly how long ago, but I had completely forgotten all about this vision. And the vision was, when I looked up into the sky, I saw Jesus. And he was like bright, shining, and white. It was just like, really bright. And he was sitting on a horse, and the same things were coming off of the horse, just that white, bright, shiny. But I knew he was sitting on the horse. And he was in front of and off to the side a little bit of a portal, a hole. And when I looked up at it, and I saw him, and then I saw the portal, I thought to myself, well, that's smaller than I thought it would be. Now, don't ask me how I know a portal is smaller than it should be, or I thought it would be. I mean, as far as I know, I don't have any experience with portals, but that is what I said in my mind. And I recalled it because I know I noted it down because I thought it was strange. Why would I say something like that? I don't know. And so I can also remember this. I also noted that I didn't recognize what color his hair was or what color his clothes, what he had on, because it was just all so bright and white, and shining. Everything was glowing. So I couldn't really see color, just the brightness. And so I must have had a download of some sort to where I would know how big or small a portal would be. I truly do not know. But anyway, when he reminded me of that vision, I thought, oh, Lord, are you trying to tell me that that we're getting ready to go through that high of the needle? I mean, is that the little hole right there in the sky? Are we going home? I mean, didn't you just say, follow me? And I was just like, is that it? Is that what it is? And, I didn't hear anything. I was like, I was like, something is just not connecting. So I don't know what it was. So I was like, okay. I had my daughter and grandchildren and then some of their friends and everyone coming over on Sunday, so I didn't have a lot of time to do any studying. I was doing cooking and handling kids laughing and playing and, and then fighting and arguing, and you know how it goes. It's either up or down with us. So I sat down. It was actually 4 boys and 1 girl, my granddaughter, and I pulled her aside and I said, "Come on, we're going to go fish." So it was Nana and Papa and her and Mommy, and we were all playing Go Fish. And the Go Fish cards that I have are I Spy Go Fish cards. They're not just like normal cards. They have pictures and stuff on them. So when I got my cards in my hand, one of the cards that I had that I was given was a skeleton key. And so I just sat there praying to the Lord silently and quietly. Lord, you got to help me here. I spent, I can't tell you how many hours researching and following your trail and trying to figure this out. It is just not connecting for me. You are putting this in front of my face again. There is a reason. You need to tell me, please. Tell me what it is. I give, and so when everybody left, it was later on in the evening, and I before bed, I went to go check my email and, Facebook chat and what have you. And I had a dear sister send me something, and she said, you truly, oh my goodness, do you see how long that one is staying? Did you all see how long that was staying? Oh, hi, angels. So, dear sister sent me something, and she said, you have got to see this. And I was like, what, what is it? And when I opened it up, it was a prophecy by Phyllis Ford, dated December the 1st of 2016. And it says that some people are going to become keys in the hand of the Lord. I said, you have got to be kidding me. Let me read you this prophecy. I do have it. I need for y'all to hear this. This is just phenomenal. You're just not going to believe it. All right, so Phyllis Ford Ministries, December 1st. This was at 5:30 p.m. She posted this on her Facebook. She said, radical shifting is bringing forth changes, and a people shall arise to the occasion of the day. They will initiate the work because they will be trusted to harvest it. The Lord is exalting the low tree and bringing down the high tree. There will be a mighty exchange of leaders and garments, and the garments, she says, are assignments. We will see a great distinction coming forth out of those who have cried out in the night seasons. Many people will become keys in this hour, and they will unlock great mysteries while locking out the spirit of deception that has overtaken many. People will marvel because there will be a power and deliverance that will come forth with great strength. Okay. So not too long ago, the Lord, not last week sometime, maybe the beginning of last week, maybe it's the tail end of the week before, but the Lord has been giving me information about deception. Actually, He's been giving a lot of people information about deception, that it is over and abounding. But what also the Lord has been leading me to study, and I don't think I did a video on it, but it is about the tree of good, of the knowledge of good and evil. So interesting that she identified tree, because that is something that He led me to in a study. And so then I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I get it. That's what it is. When I looked at the definition of key, and it talked about unlocking and understanding, or I said, and I questioned, is it something that is locked up that will now come to light? That's what it was. And so I thought, oh my goodness gracious, isn't this fantastic? So the Lord, He answered my prayer. I said, and sitting there at that Go Fish table looking at my cards, I said, Lord, you have got to help me. And sure enough, He did. And there it was. There it was. So Sunday night I go to bed. I'm preparing to go to work. Monday morning I get up and I had a cup of coffee. And I was preparing to get ready to head out to work, and I checked my email and chat boxes and things, and I saw that I had a message from another dear sister. And sure enough, the Lord had confirmed to her that I will be one that is given the keys. And so there was another confirmation first thing this morning. And so I was just like, praise God. I mean, this is just amazing. And so anyway, I went to work today, and I was just asking the Lord, God, how is this all going to come to be? How is this even possible? I mean, man, this is just phenomenal when you think about it. And He reminded me of something. He reminded me of a conversation that I had with a dear brother about a year, maybe two ago. And it was a conversation that went along something like this. What we would do when we finally got to heaven. And my answer was, I wanted to camp out at Heaven's Library. I wanted to find out answers to some things. I wanted to know what the whys were to some things, and that I truly would just love to be able to just camp out and just, look at their technology and find out, why, how Elijah was feeling when he was in that cave, and how it felt when Moses was on top of Mount Sinai, and just all of these different things. I mean, can you imagine that? Just it would be, to me, I would just be like, what, are you kidding me? So that would be the first place I would probably want to be, and then just camp out there for a little while. And so at work today, I was just thinking about it, and it dawned on me. It dawned on me that the desire that the Lord put in my heart 2 years ago to want to know more information, to want to be able to understand, is now going to be used as my assignment. What He's going to task me with during the harvest and at the end days. I'm just blown away. He put the desire in my heart that long ago, or maybe even before. And because I truly want to do what my Father wants me to do, and He truly wants to give me the desires of my heart, this is what I'm going to be tasked with. I am just in awe, completely and utterly in awe. We serve such a mighty God. He is such a gracious Father. He loves us so much. There is a, what is that? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Or how does that go? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It all started with a key that fell out of a desk in a 6-story building downtown Raleigh. For it to all go through, for me to be given my purpose. You can't discount anything. You can't tell me the hand of God did not orchestrate that whole thing. You can't. There's no way. You would not convince me. I have seen this. I have experienced His hand so many times in my life. There would be no way for you to even convince me. There is no such thing as coincidence. I'm at a loss for words. He loves you so much. He loves you so much. Please, if you're watching this video and you're not walking closely with the Lord, I just encourage you, stop and take a few minutes and just pray. Find out who Jesus is. Find out what He did for you. Find out how much He loves you. Find out what He wants to help you with and guide you through, direct you on your way. It's just, he is just, I am in awe. I truly am. He has done nothing but over and over and over and over and over show me his love, his compassion, his loving kindness, his goodness. He's so gracious and kind to me. He's full of mercy. Oh, for those who are not walking with him, you don't know what you're missing. You think you're not missing anything. Oh, you are missing so much. Take a moment. Find out who he is. New believers, thank you so much for continuing your walk with the Lord. I hope you're still praying for protection, keeping your armor on, and continuing to walk with him. I hope you're still excited about what's going on. I pray for you often. I don't want anything to discourage you. If something happens, go and talk to somebody about it. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. We're living in turbulent times, and the enemy is mischievous, and he's devious. And so I want to make sure that you're walking forward, and that you're being prayed with and along, and you know that the Lord is right there by your side. If you have any questions or concerns, or you just need someone to pray with you, or someone just to talk with you, leave me a comment. Get a hold of me on Facebook. However you want to do it. I have absolutely no problem chatting with you via email, calling you, text, chat, messenger, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. If you have a need, I have the time. So everyone else, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me to watch this video. We serve a wonderful God. He is a gracious Father. He is a gracious Father. And I just want to say God bless you. Stay under his wing. I will pray for you as well. And I pray that your family and your holidays that are upcoming are wonderful. God bless you all now.